Hello, Alexander. This is Alan Cockrell with ABC, former hitting coach for the Colorado Rockies and Seattle Mariners. Take a look at your video this morning. Alexander, the first thing that I always look for in all hitters is just to make sure that we're going to be under balance. For me, balance is, and maintaining balance, is setting our knees inside of our feet and keeping our head inside of our feet. As you can see here, you're about as perfectly balanced as anyone could hope for. So that's a very, very solid position. You've got a good 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock look at the pitcher with your eyes, so your head is around. You have a clear, unobstructed view of finding the baseball as quickly as possible. So that's very, very good, solid position. We're going to run this forward now into the load phase. Okay, you've got a little leg kick here, which is very, very good. The biggest thing with leg kicks are a lot of times people will get a lot of sway. And as I mentioned, we want to try to keep our head inside of our feet. But you can see here with your leg kick, your head stays relatively quiet. Okay, that's a nice quiet leg kick. The only thing I would suggest on the leg kick is just make sure that because it's a lot to do, we don't ever want to get in a hurry throughout the hitting process, particularly the load, that that leg kick starts early enough that you can set your foot down very softly. Okay, we want it to be slow, under control, and also soft, so that when your foot lands, it's not landing hard. All right, but you've done a really good job of keeping your head very still throughout this process. It's not an easy thing to do. You do a very good job of that. Okay, take it back to the load just a little bit. Most hitters, when they get the foot down, I'm sure that's a term that you've heard, the toe will land first, but it's not until the heel firmly plants into the ground are we fully loaded. Okay, at this particular point, we'd like to see the head somewhere over the belt buckle. You know, we hear the term stay back, and sometimes that translates into sitting back a little bit. So in this particular position, you could actually have just a little bit more forward movement with your head. Try to get it somewhere over your belt buckle. Okay, in the load, we want to feel weight to the inside part of our back leg, the inside part of the thigh. You look to be in a very good position there. The other thing that I look for once we get to the loaded position is we want to make sure that our stride foot, let me run this back one click, we want to make sure that our stride foot is no more open than 45 degrees. You can see here you're at 52. It's not bad. If we could get it more at a 45, I tell you what that will do is that will keep your hips more square, and it will not allow this front hip to want to leak open in our swing just a little bit early. Okay, whenever we're early or more open than 45, that front hip wants to leak out to the pull side just a little bit too quickly. So one thing that we could try to clean up is just when your foot lands, that head's more over the center of the body, head's more over the belt buckle right here, and that this stride foot is more at a 45-degree angle as opposed to a 52. But again, not bad at all. Not bad. We're going to run this forward now. First move we want to make is with that back knee, driving and transferring weight or energy to the inside part of this front leg. Okay, you can see here you make a good first move. Now the first move with the hands will be the back elbow. We'll tuck into the slot right here at the rib cage area so that I get a connection with my shoulder, my elbow, and my back hip, or mainly the stripe of my pant on my back legs. And you can see that you've brought your elbow just a little bit in front of that back hip, and that just is getting your elbow in front of your power source. We want the elbow to slide into this slot right in here. Okay, and now from there our hands will start to work in front of our body. So at this point our hands should be working out here in front of our center of gravity, which is our belly button, somewhere in that area. All right, we'll run this forward just a little bit more. Okay, we're going to take this to the contact position. I see some really good things here at contact. I see your head and eyes looking right down the barrel of the bat at contact. I see a good strong position, palm up, palm down with your hands. Couldn't be any better than that. We'll take this forward. Okay, now we go to the extension phase, and once the ball's left the bat, head and eyes are still looking down the barrel of the bat, past contact, okay? And I'm getting good full extension with the barrel of my bat facing the pitcher. That just means that most of the principles that led to this point have been pretty darn good, so good job there. Okay, now we'll take it to the next phase. Actually, before I go there, let me just say one more thing about the head. You know, we talk about head down at contact. I think it's important to keep the head down past contact, and I think it's important for you to know as soon as the head and eyes start to come up and follow the flight of the ball, then that's where the bat's going to go to. So if your head and eyes had come up too early, then the barrel of your bat would not be fully extended at the pitcher. It would be finishing somewhere over here in this direction. So you've done a really, really good job of keeping your head and eyes down past contact. Okay, run it through to the balance point. Now at this point, and this is where I go back to the head, because the head was sitting back here on the back side just a little bit. We haven't quite got the full turn with the back side. As I mentioned, you know, the back knee starts the swing with your lower half. It drives into the front thigh, and because we've kind of set back with that head just a little bit, we haven't got the full turn that we'd like to see with the shoelaces right here, really facing more up and down, and your shoelaces are basically kind of just staying straight. So if we can get just a little bit more drive into that front side and get that head just a little bit more centered, I think we'll get a even better full side turn. But you do a tremendous job of staying on balance or staying under balance, and all in all, very, very, very good swing. Again, we'll take this back, and some of the things I think that will help you is just setting up a tee, okay? And once we get to the loaded position, we're going to set this tee over here on the outside outer half or outer third of the plate. We'll set it up even with my front foot, or maybe just inside my front foot, okay? We'll put a ball on that tee. Okay, now once I get to the loaded position, I can make sure to check that this stride foot right here is no more open than a 45-degree angle, all right? Then I can start to drive my knee into that front leg, right into here, and now I'm going to make sure that I get a good connection. So when I get to this particular point right here, right there, I've got shoulder, elbow, back, hip in an alignment. Now the only thing that continues to go forward from this particular point would be your hands. I want to see your hands start to work in front of your body, just past your center of gravity, right there, all right? And that's going to allow for a better extension and more drive, particularly through the ball that's outer half or outer third of the plate. So let's just let's do some tee work and set the ball middle away. Continue to work with that leg kick. I think you do a great job of staying under balance with that. But I would just like to see you work on the ball that's outer half, just so we can work on keeping this front foot a little bit closed, a little bit longer, and keeping this front hip just a little bit more squared up to home plate once we get to that loaded position. Okay, and as we start to go forward, that's going to keep our hands working in front of our body, as opposed to this elbow right here starting to lead in front of your power source. So anyway, buddy, that's my suggestions. I want to thank you for coming to the camp, and best of luck.